I kid you not. The ERISA Advisory Group. Now, this group studies pension issues for corporations. They complained at the Labor Department that these were no less than locked up assets. They should be freed up to be used more productively. I'm thinking those funds were being used very productively. That's why they had the surplus. But again, pension programs were designed to be way long in assets in great economic times to ensure they were properly funded in down cycles so they could pay their obligations. Again, on that day in 1999, executives with DuPont, Northrop Grumman, Marathon Oil all said they should have the right to withdraw those excess funds, and they would use them to pay for retiree health care benefits. John Vine, a Washington attorney representing many corporations, said, employers could extract the assets in mergers or use them to pay severance costs or even to provide enhanced benefits to a subclass of the plan's current participants. In layman's terms, that meant taking pension funds from the employee program and paying it out to corporate executives. Michael Harrison, head of human resources for Lucent Technologies, he was there that day. He fully understood what Vine meant. He seconded the idea of removing workers' pension funds in order to pay executive benefits. He then added, and I quote, allowing employers to drain the surplus assets from pension funds would actually enhance retirement security. Well, really? You drain the funds from an employee pension program and that increases their retirement security? Well, there was a third voice that day. Ron Gebhardsbauer, the senior pension fellow of the American Academy of Actuaries. And he said, if employers could use pension assets for their own benefit, it would actually help employees and retirees. Of course, the idea he was trying to get at was that this money could help grow the business, and the larger and more profitable the business was, it ignored the fact that most corporations had not taken their profits of the last decade and put it into pension plans. But this still ignored the fact that these corporations were incredibly profitable in 1999, and during that last decade of prosperity, they hadn't put any money into pension funds because they didn't need to. Now they wanted that money back for parachutes and simple additions to their corporate bottom line in order to boost the stock price and make their stock options worth more money. It is no surprise that the Clinton administration's final report concluded it would be in the best interest of corporations and their employees to allow removing all of these monies out of pension plans to be put to other uses. The real joke, of course, is that these same corporations had actually been looting those pension funds for a decade. They just wanted legal cover for what had been done and the ability to do more of it. Only the AFL-CIO and AARP saw the real truth and told everybody where this would go. In normal times, the public, with millions of Americans covered by these pension plans and retirement programs, well, the media would have uncovered this story to let them know how their pension program funds were already being rated and how they would be rated more in the future. Few understood that these pension plans and assets were going to be rated, in many cases, to pay for executive bonuses or executive retirement plans. But remember, on the day of those hearings at the Labor Department, tasked with looking out for workers, American corporate pension plans were overfunded to the tune of $250 billion. Shortly after the Clinton administration allowed the heist of pension plans came the tech crash. Those excess funds that were needed to pay benefits in the worst economic conditions were quickly disappearing, as the NASDAQ went from 4,500 down to 1,500. Now today we hear that pension plans are in serious trouble, and certainly many are. GE's isn't. But the line given time and time again, greed of the workforce, too many retirees, union demands, and so on, are rarely true. Only Ellen Schultz at the Wall Street Journal, one of the conservative bastions in the corporate media world, would cover these stories company by company. Verizon, GE, Cigna Insurance, GTE, Bell Atlantic, DuPont, Delta, United, General Motors, Allegheny Technologies, U.S. Steel, Quest, hundreds of other major U.S. corporations raided the surplus in employee pension plans or lowered the promised benefits in such an obtuse way that their employees, many to this day, aren't aware of what was done. And the line we've all been sold, employee greed. At the end of the 80s, everything was fine. At the end of the 90s, everything was incredible. But just like the end of Glass-Steagall, the end of commodities regulation, we actually have the Clinton administration to thank for the fact that we have a pension problem in America today because they let the excess cash be taken back for other uses. But like everything else about Bill Clinton's administration, we were too busy talking about Monica Lewinsky to notice the damage he was doing to you.